I wonder what makes up our environment.
Elements do.
What are elements and how do they make up the environment?
Elements are substances that can't be broken down into smaller parts or changed into another substance.
Elements are chemicals that make up our periodic table and are mostly important to life.
Okay, but what makes them up?
Elements are made up of atoms, which are made of protons, neutrons, and electrons.
Ionic compounds are made up of cations and anions, which are positive and negative charged ions. Cations and anions are held together by an electrostatic force, which is referred as the ionic bond. When it comes to naming these ionic compounds, there are rules. Number 1, the cations always get named before the anion. Number 2, the monatomic cations use the elemental name. Number 3, for monatomic anions, use the root of an element name plus the suffix "ide." When oxygen is involved, one fewer oxygen atom ends with the suffix "ate, and if two fewer oxygen atoms is used, using the suffix "ite." An ionic bond is formed when an atom gives up one or more electrons to another atom. For example, in sodium chloride, sodium gives up one electron to chlorine. Okay, I understand what valence electrons and ionic bonding is, but I don't understand what covalent bondings are.
Well, covalent bonding is pretty simple to understand. There are 3 bonding types: single bonded, double bonded, and triple bonded.
Single bonds are weaker because they have longer bonds. Double bonds are weak but not as weak as the single bonds. Triple bonds are stronger because they have a shorter bond length. As you see here, when the bond length is longer, the string is loose and floppy. When the bond length is shorter, it isn't loose and doesn't budge.
Another lesson we should look at is periodic trends. Periodic trends are the tendencies of certain properties to increase or decrease as you move across a period or down a group.
Major periodic trends include electronegativity, atomic radius, melting point, and boiling point. On the periodic table, electronegativity increases as you move left to right across a period and decreases as you move down a group. Most electronegative elements are found on the top right of the periodic table, while the least electronegative elements are found at the bottom left.
Now let's cover melting points and boiling points. Melting points is the temperature at which a solid begins to convert to a liquid. The boiling point is where the liquid begins to convert to a gas.
These are the pairs of valence electrons shared between two atoms in a covalent bond. Lone pairs are the pairs of valence electrons that aren't shared between atoms in a covalent bond.